The movie Blood and Bone depicts a gang within a maximum security facility. The prisoners were on their way to the restroom when they encountered a fellow named Bone. Danny warns. A group is searching for killers. When the gang members arrive. As Danny emerges from the bathroom, the gang leader warns Bone that he will regret not joining their group. Bone pulls off his shirt and tells the gang leader he'll give them a chance. The gang leader mocked Bone's words and attacked him, but Bone survived. The gang members attempted to knife him, but he fought back. After hitting them in seconds, he informs the gang leader that he needs to convey a message to everyone. Despite threats to his safety, Bone leaves jail and heads to a hotel to book a room. He meets Tamara, the hotel owner, who takes him to his room and tells him. When she expresses her desire for no difficulties with him, he responds that he, too, does not want any trouble. He visits the stadium where street fights take place and witnesses a battle between two individuals. A single individual organizes the battle after James and his men arrive in luxury cars. Pinball announces the next combat between two warriors. One of them is a human. James Hammerman, a fighter who had never lost a fight, worked for me. During the bout, Hammerman badly injured the other fighter before winning. James receives the sum of bets from Pinball, who then leaves in his automobile. After discovering a Bone in the car, Pinball mistook him for a thief. However, when Bone requests a battle with Hammerman Pinball, he first declines. It conveys to Bone that he is an unknown boxer who needs significant funding to succeed. Organize the struggle for him. Bone gives Pinball $250 and tells him it's all he has. Franklin gives James a call, asking him to. James agrees to get rid of Daryl, but discovers Franklin watching Pinball in his car. The presenter hands James a bone, explaining that it symbolizes the new fighter. James observes that Bone has. James issues a warning about a man who has been eyeing his girlfriend Angela. Pinball advises Bone not to repeat his actions with his friend Angela. James leaves the site with his troops and prepares for a pinball battle. Another fighter. Although the combatant facing Bone was a massive figure, Bone noticed that he was slow movement. During the fight, a Bone strikes the combatant, resulting in a lethal blow. He was able to win the fight in just a few seconds. Pinball was delighted with Bone's victory and notified. To gain fame, he plans to organize battles outside of the city. I organized a pinball game with Hammermar and informed Bone about Angela James' acquaintance. He informed him that she was married and pregnant, but James took her away. After forcing her spouse to commit murder and imprisoning him, he confesses. While Angela was taking narcotics, James concealed her and her child in an unknown location. Had grown unhappy. James and his crew were having dinner with Daryl and his girlfriend Franklin. Had instructed him to dump. James asks Daryl's girlfriend to play music, then sings and invites everyone. James stabs Daryl with a painful board before asking Hammerman to join him in singing. Turn up the music and strike Daryl till he dies. We keep a close watch on Bone in his hotel room, observing his actions. James is unhappy with Angela for not paying attention to him when they meet at home. On the second day, James spent time with one of his friends. Teddy displays a video of Bone's fighting. James requests information about Bone. While in the hotel, Tamara notices. Gerard was meeting with street gangs, so she advised him to avoid them, as old Roberto urged. They refused to leave and cursed Roberto, which prompted Bone to intervene, leading them to flee. Pinball quickly joins Bone in the car, and they witness a street brawl. In a different location, there was a fight between two girls, one of whom was named Renetta. The winner of the battle pinball game is Tattoo, who has fighters and agrees to the rules. He orchestrates a battle between Bone and one of the Tattoo fighters. During the fight, the opponent's shoulder dropped as they struck punches, indicating Bone. With a single blow, he destroys his opponent in pinball. Overjoyed informs Tattoo that Bone can beat. The Tattoo add two fighters at once. He indicates that combatants are ready for pinball. When the battle begins, the BET has doubled. Bone defeats the first combatant. They delivered a tremendous punch and broke the second person's hand bone, revealing his tattoo. He is willing to fight again if he doubles his BET tattoo and challenges 10 fighters to a bout. Eliminate them all with crushing strikes. Bone forcibly collects money from tattooed individuals. Gun on Bone. Beretta was enamored with Bone, so she gave him her number. Bone continued training and then Pinball organizes street fights for Bone, who consistently wins. Bone competes in high-stakes battles and appears to be gaining popularity and wealth. Manages to win every bout. We watch as Bone arrives at the motel, where he has a minor injury. After treating his wound, Bone inquires about her children, to which she responds. After 3 years of providing care, Gerard has taken custody of the child. After caring for him for a year, she became a fan of Tachi Bone, who taught her the fundamentals of sports. On the second day, she observed him teaching Gerard the fundamentals of the sport as James pursued a goal. He questioned a girl in his car after he suspected she had leaked information about him. The girl begged. James smashed her with a vehicle, despite his promise not to damage her. Roberto witnessed the incident, as did James. Tells Teddy to leave. On the Bones fight date, a Hummer man rides in the car with Teddy. Pinball, who was doping prior to meeting James, predicts Bones' victory in the bout. As the struggle began, the Hummer guy attempted to strike Bone, who was quick and agile. The Hummer guy can dodge the attack, but the Bones hit him repeatedly, making it impossible for him to dodge. The Bone then knocks out. Before leaving, Homer uses his foot to proclaim Bone the winner of the pinball game. James invited Bone to dinner to steal the winning bet from James, who was quite upset. As Pinball and Bone visit James' place to celebrate his triumph, Bone catches sight of a female. Angela glances at her. James observes this and invites Bone to join him in the office. James. The speaker shows Bone a samurai sword and expresses appreciation for all combat sports. James admits to being inexperienced with swords. Bone learns about Franklin. Franklin reveals that he is a successful gun dealer with a multi-million-dollar business. A fighter seeking to arrange a match has never lost a fight. The battle with this individual would cost $5 million. James gives Bone the assurance that he will. If he beats him, he will become wealthy and never have to fight again, according to Bone. Think about it. James observes that Bone is still following Angela, who is hunting for narcotics. James has hidden. James instructs Angela to enter the room and encourages Bone to participate. The fight, Angela enters the room, gets a pistol, and threatens Bone as he approaches. Bone knew her well because Danny's prison-bound friend had recommended her and his child. Before he passed away, Danny, Bone's closest friend, was married to Angela and imprisoned. James hired a jail group to remove Danny Bone, and he blames Angela. She claims that James was the one who compelled her to stay with him after the incident. She murdered her husband and kidnapped her son, whose whereabouts remain unknown until now. He informs her that he knows where her son is and will take her there. The two then walk out to search for him. Bone suggests that James accompany Angela for a bit, as they appear to be having fun together. James agrees. Before returning home, Bone suggests that the fight take place today. He went to Franklin's residence, as James had instructed him to do. James enters and observes Franklin. James and other influential men gathered to observe the struggle between Bone and Franklin's. Fighter James threatens to murder Bone if he refuses to fight. He threatens to kill James for murdering his jailed friend Danny. James knew Bone wants to. In order to protect Angela, James admits to killing Danny and Roberto but is unaware of the connection. He recorded everything and emailed it to Pinball, who informed the police about James Franklin's situation. A fighter approaches Bone and threatens to kill him. Bone defends himself against the other fighter, mocking Bone. During the fight, Bone recognizes his opponent's superior talents but manages to prevail. Despite inflicting multiple strikes on his opponent, Bone eventually surrendered before the game concluded. He startled everyone, causing James to lose his money, $5 million. James becomes enraged and attacks Bone with his sword. Franklin explains. To ensure fair combat, he asked his troops to give Bona a sword. James is amazed by the bones. Despite his earlier statement that he lacked sword abilities, Bone successfully severed James's arm. After the police arrived to arrest James for threatening behavior, he fled the scene. Angela warned Franklin that he would betray her. Angela completed her therapy and returned home. Tamara, Gerard's mother, was raising him in the hotel. Angela and her kid are finally. When Tamara saw her new Bone again, she understood why he had come to the hotel. Protect Gerard. Bone declines Angela's request to remain with them at the hotel, citing his assignment. He invites Angela and her child to stay with her, then leaves the hotel. He bids farewell to both them and Pinball, promising never to fight again. Once again, James found himself in the same prison as Bone in the movie Franklin. James threatens the gang, demanding that they beat him. The movie finishes here. Thank you for watching.